just after 3:30, so we're gonna start our live video now. Let's turn the music off. So my name is Jasmine. I am one of the founders of Audience of One Fitness and Mindset Training Company. We also call our company for short AO1, which you've probably seen online. I'm based out of Coquitlam, BC, in British Columbia, Canada. Our other founder, Stephanie, who you saw last week on our Facebook Live, she's also my sister, and she is based out of Sydney, BC, which is on Vancouver Island. If you're local, you'll know where that is. If not, it's on a little island just outside Vancouver in Canada. And we're so happy to see you here live on Facebook. So last week, Stephanie posted a live video where she actually did it right in her gym, and she demonstrated live 10 different modifications and progressions for exercises. And at Audience of One Fitness, we believe that fitness should be achievable and accessible for anyone. So you can take any movement and make it as simple and as basic as you need to get started. And you can take that same movement and add progressions so that it becomes so challenging that you'll never plateau. And that is something that we want to equip our tribe and our members with, so that you can always achieve your fitness goals. So today I'm actually going to take a different side, and she focused on a bit of the fitness, and today I'm going to focus on our mindset and having a healthy mindset. So as fitness instructors, Steph and I, we love teaching fitness. We love, teaching technique and inspiring and motivating people to be fit, but we know that you will not achieve those results if you don't stick it out. And that comes through having a healthy mindset. Without it, you won't see the longevity and ultimately the results that you want and living out to your full potential unless you address and have a healthy mindset. So that's what we're going to dig into a little bit today. This past week, we sent out 3 questions and we asked for your feedback and your response to them. And those questions were basically, what are the obstacles, or what is holding you back from living out your dream, your big dream? What's holding you back from being fit and healthy and full of energy, as well as what's holding you back from having a healthy mindset? And so that's what we're going to look at today. We thank you for those that submitted your responses, and we want to focus in on what you mentioned. So let's start with the first one. What is the biggest obstacle for you to live out your dream? And no surprise, the one that came back the most was fear. Fear of failure. And that's interesting because I think most of us probably have heard in the past that it is one of the most common things. Fear is one of the most common things that will stop you from trying something new or setting a goal for yourself or just living out your dreams. So that is one of the biggest obstacles that is well known as well. And I want to just dig a little deeper into that and examine that. So is fear of failure really what you're afraid of? Or could it be the embarrassment of failing in front of others? And if I'm honest, I would say it would be more the latter. So you could ask yourself, if you were to try something new and you knew that there was a way out, like there's an escape route, and nobody knew that you were going to try this, would you be more likely to do it? And if that's you and it more accurately describes your situation or the root of your fear, it would be more about the fear of people judging me. And I think we can be real and honest to say that we've all struggled with that at some point in our life. Maybe some of us struggle with it daily, and that could be the root of your fear. At Audience of One, we have 4 tenets that Steph and I have discussed, and we've narrowed down, and we have 4 tenets of a healthy mindset, and I'm going to be bringing those into this conversation today. Oh, by the way, this is a live video, so please send in your comments and questions as I'm talking. I'm just going to talk and share what I want to share, but please comment, and if you're watching this later when it's not live, comment in the, the below comment section, because this is 3:30 on a Friday afternoon. I know not all of you are able to watch. A lot of you are at work. This is just the only time that really works for me because my toddler's sleeping, so it's quiet. So it's actually beneficial for all of us for me to do this right now and not later when he's up, although that could be fun, a little more unpredictable. So yes, please write your comments, write your questions, and I'll check back later in the next few days as well to keep updating and answering your questions. So, okay. So our first tenet of a healthy mindset is called determine your audience. This is also why we call our company Audience of One, which a lot of people have wondered, why is your fitness company called that? So what does that mean? What it means is that when all the cries of expectation and judgments from other audiences outside is louder than the audience or the voice inside your own heart and mind, then that will lead to fear and confusion and often paralyze you from living out your dreams. So what we need to do is first determine who our audience of one is. You need to give permission to one audience to speak into your life, and from that you will prioritize everything, and other voices will then become quieter. So who is your audience of one? Another question you could ask is, who or what is your driving force or motivation for life? What gets you out of bed? What brings you purpose in life? For me, it's a personal relationship with Jesus. When I have him at the front and the first thing, then I'm able to be the best person that I believe I'm created to be. I'm able to love other people. I'm able to live out my purpose. So that who I've put as my audience of one, but who is it or what is it for you? It might be just listening to yourself. It might be having your voice at the front. It might be your family. It might be a higher power. It might be maybe a goal or a dream that you are created to do and to be, and you're going to put that as your audience, and everything needs to come through a filter of, will this bring me to my dream? Will this bring me to the goal in my life? And everything else needs to quiet down. So you need to dig deep first. And this is a big step. I'm not saying you're going to do this quickly right now, but take time, and we'll do this later down the road too in our community. But you need to determine who your audience of one is. And when the world creeps in with all the other junk and noise and clatter, you need to silence that and push that away so that you can really hear that one audience. And then you won't have the confusion and the fear. So if you imagine that I have an outlet, a power plug, and there's all these different plugs plugged into it, you know that the power source is then pulled out into all the different sources. So into the blender and into the vacuum and into all the different appliances that are plugged in. But if you start to unplug those other sources and you just have one, then the power source is able to flow freely into that one outlet and give maximum potential. So when our focus is narrowed, when we only have that one audience coming through to us, then our power output to potential is free and unhindered. And that's kind of the picture I want to leave you with, is where we want to go with this. So failing then doesn't become as scary, and it doesn't become a fear when the only judgment that matters is really that one voice that you have given permission to speak into your life, and you trust that voice, and it's a voice of love and has your best interest in mind. Then you have the freedom to risk and the freedom to fail, and it's okay. So that is the fear of failing in front of others. Now, what if we just looked at the fear of failure? So you might have a legitimate fear of failure because you say, well, I've tried things in the past and I did fail every time. So you maybe have some broken promises to yourself. You said, oh, I'll do this, or I'll set a goal, and then you never followed through. And it's hard to rebuild trust. If you have a relationship, it's hard to rebuild trust when you see broken promises, but it's also hard if you've broken a promise with yourself and to build that trust up again. Our second tenet of a healthy mindset is that you have value, that you have infinite, amazing value. And there never has been and there never will be you. You are unique. Your DNA is one of a kind. One of the best ways of actually proving that you have value to yourself, for it to actually sink in and for you to believe that, is to start with the little things. And we're talking about a healthy mindset, and sometimes we can't just jump to suddenly, I have a healthy mindset. But start with small steps. So here's one thing you can do. Just pick a small habit that you can start every morning. It doesn't matter what it is. So maybe it's brushing your teeth. I hope you do that. Maybe it's flossing. Flossing can be a little bit harder for people. Not everyone does that, but it's a good thing. So maybe you want to floss every morning or every night, or maybe it's make your bed, or maybe it's just having a list of being grateful every day, or adding to that list and just having a joy outlook, and you're going to focus on one thing every day to be happy or grateful for. Whatever it is, you need to pick. But it needs to be small, and it needs to be something that if you are consistent with it, you can achieve it. And when you commit to doing that, you are going to prove to yourself that you are worthy of having a promise kept. And the crazy thing is that when you keep a commitment to yourself, even if it's so small, it's going to start this positive cycle that keeping positive and good habits is going to get easier and easier. So maybe you just start drinking more water. That's a good habit to have. And you feel a little more energized and good throughout the day. So then you come home at night like, oh, I have a little more energy, a little more oomph today. I think I'll go outside for a nice power walk or a little jog. Like, you're not going to overexert yourself, but you just feel like, I want to feel good. So I'm going to get out and get some fresh air. And then you come home and like, oh, I need a snack. I feel like vegetables. I feel like eating something healthy. And then you nourish yourself. And then you feel better because you're sleeping better. And then you're more joyful and you're able to be more loving towards your spouse or your kids or your workmates or your friends. And then you just suddenly feel like everything's going a little bit better and you have value. But sometimes that truth really needs to sink in because you need to prove it to yourself. So you start small, you be consistent with it. You prove to yourself that you can keep a promise, and it will have a positive ripple effect. So that's one simple, very simple thing you can start today and to have that. Second, let's just move into our second question. So what are the obstacles, or what has prevented you from just being the most fit, healthy, energized person that you can be? So many things. And we heard back a lot of things, and I and Steph have a lot of things that are on our minds for that too. So time, money, energy, commitment, stress, family, negative experiences, incompetence, not feeling I can do it, lack of motivation. And of course, I heard back from a lot of people in the same circle that I'm in of moms with young kids at home. And that is where we hear a lot of people saying, I'm just tired, so tired. Energy is just drained, right? And I'm in that boat too. And this is a huge reason why we're not exercising or prioritizing healthy food, and then we just don't feel as good. So what can we do about it? Well, just a sneak peek, Steph and I are in the works of creating a fitness program, fitness and mindset actually, that are designed with all of those pain points in mind. And we're excitedly working on it, and it will fit into a tight schedule, tight finances, and with little energy, because that's where we're at. That's reality. And if we want to achieve that, we need to find a way to do that. So that's just a sneak peek. We're going to roll out some more details in the next couple months, so stay tuned. But until then, we need to revisit what's the mindset behind that, behind preventing us from getting in shape and just being healthy. So if we look back and we think, if we're honest, these difficulties, as real as they are, they could be excuses hiding the truth that we just don't want to work. We don't want to get up and exercise. We don't want to meal prep. It's easier to go through a drive-through. It's easier to sit and watch Netflix. It's easier to watch my toddler play and I'm on the couch scrolling Facebook instead of getting on the floor and playing with him and moving around or going to the park and having fun actively with him. You know, a lot of times the truth is, and it's an honest feeling that we all go through, but sometimes we just don't want to put the work into achieving the results that we want. Stephanie actually said this, and I stole this from her, and she said, you will never achieve the results you want by focusing on the results. I'll say that again. You'll never achieve the results you want by focusing on the results. We need to fall in love with the process. So for example, if your goal is to lose 20 pounds and you focus on the results of, I gotta achieve that, I need to lose 20 pounds, if you do that really easily, maybe you go on a crash diet or you just, for like a short period of time, you exercise like crazy and you lose the weight pretty fast, but you don't fall in love with the process, you will not be any happier at the end, and likely, which we've seen with so many people and perhaps ourselves, it gets into a cycle where we just gain the weight back. But if you fall in love with the process, then along the way, you will gain patience, perseverance, resilience, time management skills, and healthy habits for life. So our third tenet of a healthy mindset is crave the challenge. We know that true life and joy and purpose, it comes through hard work. It comes through overcoming difficulties, fighting through challenges. I'm not going to get into the whole analogy of the diamond because you've probably heard it, but a diamond is not created sitting on the beach relaxing, just in a little bit of sun, enjoying the suntan. It goes through the fire of the furnace and it produces this beautiful diamond. And that's the same with us. Nothing of great value comes without hard work and going through a challenge. So we need to crave the challenge. But with that said, I also want to be sensitive and say, we need to be gracious with ourselves, and especially the season that we are in. Life is really up and down in seasons. It's cyclical. And so if you are in a place of your life right now where you're at home caring for young children and they are zapping energy out of you, maybe it's not a season where you can put expectation on yourself to train for a marathon or to compete in a CrossFit competition or, just to do what you had done in the past. So you need to be gracious with yourself as well. And know the seasons that you are in. I'm 32 weeks pregnant and I know that I have limitations with my body, so I can't push myself the way that I used to. But I do have control over what I eat. So if I have control over how much I put in my body, then I'm going to prioritize that. And I know that instead of going through a drive-through, which is the easy choice, I'm going to stay home and make a grilled chicken sandwich with nice eggs and protein and hemp powder and all that stuff, then I feel better and I have control over that. Whereas this season of my life, I can't exercise as hard. That's okay. But I'm still going to prioritize it and do what I can. So we need to be conscious of where we're at and be at peace with the season that you're at. Okay, the third question is, what prevents you from having a healthy mindset? Lots of answers came back, no surprise here, but worry, self-doubt, depression, anxiety. These are all very real and very tough things to fight through. So here's just a very simple exercise that you can do. Make a list of everything that just goes through your head. What worries you, what concerns you, and just write it all. Just get it out of your head, put it on paper. And then ask yourself, looking at that list, do I have control over this? Because there's so many things in life that we can worry about and that just concerns us, but there's actually a smaller portion of that we actually have direct control over. And we don't need to waste our energy and our precious time worrying about things that we don't even have control over. So looking at that list, pull all the things off that you have control over, start a new column and focus on those things. And if you have control over it, you need to take care of it. You need to actually get in there and do what you need to do. But if you don't have control over it, there's that lesson of just pushing it aside and allowing it to just be, and so that you can live in peace and know that your mindset is healthy. Our last tenet of a healthy mindset, number 4, is living in life together. So in it together. We need community so much. We are not meant to do life alone. We need each other. And whether it's this online community, which we love, I encourage you, you need to find some group, a tribe, a community to have in your life. And it's on you. No one is going to come knocking on your door and say, hey, do you want to join our group? And if they are knocking on your door, maybe be a little leery of them. But you need to go out and find a healthy community. You make friends by being a friend. I think we've all heard that before. So we invite you to be part of our online community here at AO1. And like I said at the beginning, we're in the works of developing the full program where you're going to have accountability and community online. But until then, you can connect with us on Facebook and Instagram. And we encourage all of you to post your questions and comments, and then have other members, encourage one another. A community that we really adhere to here is authentic, honest, but encouraging. All of those 3 things. But also online, we want you to find people, physical people that you can be with, friends that you can have accountability with. When things are going rough, you need to have someone you can go to, and you need to also be there for other people to encourage and motivate them. We need each other so much from that. So I'm going to wrap up now. This was fun. This was actually my first Facebook Live, and it wasn't quite as scary as I thought, but I'm looking forward to more. So next week, Stephanie's going to go live from Sydney, BC. And I'm going to just link in the notes below the blog that I wrote for this week. So it also highlights the 4 tenets of a healthy mindset. And there's also a free quiz, just very short, quick quiz, just to help you determine, do I have a healthy mindset or not? So I'll link that below too that you can try. And again, if you're watching this when it's not live later on, feel free to post your comments and your questions in the comments below, and we'll be looking at those and answering. So thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Bye.